I've got to say that it is crazy because I apologize to everyone. I actually logged on to my other YouTube account, which is like a personal account that I had a long time ago, and I did a whole live over on that account. And I think I had Sabah, who was the only person who found me, and I was like, man, it's really kind of sparse today when it comes to people watching. But I did a whole live over there, and only like one or two people showed up. And then I went back through and I was like, oh no, what is this? I couldn't find the video, and I realized I was on the wrong YouTube channel. So I'm very sorry about that. This is Vio's Journey channel, I'm sure this time. And this channel is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on, or the channels that I seem to log into. I wanted to actually come on and talk to you guys today about something really exciting that I'm doing, and something I want to pose a question in the growth of your business. And that is, hey, everybody, Jeremy, Joe, Paul. I know, crazy. I'm a goofball. Holy schmoly, I made it into a live broadcast. It is the little things, Ryan. I just howdy, guys. So anyways, I've been busy other than just doing voiceovers. It's been, by the way, I've been swamped today. Very nice. Lots of business coming from all over the world, different companies. Very excited about that. Actually, okay, this is something interesting. For the first time ever, I got a voiceover request through my website. What is happening to the world? I have never received a voiceover request through my website. I actually got one, strangely enough, from a person who listens to my podcast, who I guess is also in a media company. It's important to get yourself out there, even no matter what you're doing. But anyways, I thought that was an interesting and fun fact to share. Just because, and I don't know, maybe you guys are in a totally different boat than me. Maybe you book lots of business through your websites, but I don't get anything through my website. So this was like a pretty big deal. Anyways, what I want to talk about today is the fact that I kind of put out in the Facebook group yesterday that I was determined on a mission to deconstruct and break the chains that are holding me down on Voice 123. So, you know, Fiverr is very good to me. It continues to be good to me. And I work very hard on that platform, but I've pretty much decked out my accounts and as much as I can. And that platform runs really well. It kind of runs on autopilot for me. So I'm wanting to grow the business. As I told you guys before, I went from, you know, 10,000 a month to 15,000. Now I'm trying for $20,000 a month. And from doing that, I need to branch out into another website. And I think that Voice 123 is where I am there. I've paid for the subscription. I've been doing a lot of work. So anyways, connectivity. So something that I've noticed, and maybe again, I'm just way behind the 8 ball, which should give people some excitement, because you know you don't have to have everything to be successful. But I wanted to start being more connected to the world when it comes to connecting to studios, connecting to media companies, and connecting to clients in a way that they want to connect. So one thing I've noticed, especially on some of these other platforms where you know, the whole point of the platform is to connect you together, you know, off of the platform, where, you know, like Fiverr, they don't want you to do that. Even Voice Realm, they don't want you to do that. But, you know, voices.com or Voice 123, especially Voice 123. Although on a side note, I did want to tell you that I was contacted by Voice 123 because I've been contacting them, telling them I want to. I actually contacted Voice 123 and I said, I want business. How can you help me? That's what I said to them, because I was like, I've been on your platform for months and I ain't got any work. You know, funny thing, I start auditioning. I got a job the next day on Voice 123. I mean, it wasn't from them. It's interesting when you start to, I feel like it's interesting when you start to begin to be like, enough is enough. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure it out. It's interesting how the world kind of is like, okay, he's determined or she's determined. Anyways, so they told me that they are going to be switching or launching a beta on an escrow payments through escrow. So that's interesting news from Voice123 that I found, and I signed up for that. Although there wasn't a place that I know of. Now, I could be wrong. There wasn't a place that I know of that I heard of that, but I heard that through the talent manager or coach or whoever is working with me on, fixing up my Voice123 account. She told me about it and asked if I wanted to sign up for it. I said, sure, because, for all I know, they're going to help promote that as well. And I might be on that list for promotion. And the way I look at it is I don't have anywhere to go but up. So it's not like I'm going to be decimated in business on Voice123. So anyways, but all of that going around, I just literally spit. I don't know why I'm so happy. I'm just having a good day. With all that going around, I wanted to talk about what I've noticed and what I'm not doing and now what I am doing. So connectivity. For the longest time, I've known about ISDN. I've known about Phone Patch. I've known about Source Connect. I haven't really known about ipDTL, but I have heard it. I've seen it, and the reason why I've seen it is because on all these sites I sign up for, or these different places where I'm auditioning, they have those options to check for connectivity with businesses, and I've never had them, nor have I signed up for them. And I think the biggest reason was because every time I went to go, one, they were kind of complicated, at least they seemed that way to me in the descriptions. And two, they cost money. And not only that, but they're also software that needs licensing, which means they cost money on a monthly basis. So, and on top of that, everything I had heard about ISDN was either it's going out of style, but then, people have been saying that for like years and years. I watched a video from Bill DeWeese, like it was like 9 years ago, him saying that he didn't think it would be around for much longer. And people are still studios are still using ISDN. All right. And also Source Connect. So, but ISDN was this difficult thing that you had to have equipment, you had to have your phone company, all these people had to be in on it. So I did some checking for starters. My phone company doesn't offer ISDN. So that wasn't going to work. So anyways, I decided that I was going to do everything that I could to be connected to the world or to businesses the way they wanted to connect. So I signed up yesterday for Source Connect. I signed up for that, downloaded the software, went through all of the little training things, and now I have Source Connect. I also have signed up for ipDTL, which is ipDTL, which looks amazing. I'll tell you why, because it's like all in one, even though a lot of places aren't necessarily using it yet, but basically you can use it like Source Connect, but you can also use it for phone patching, right? Because it also has an outline. You have a number that you can call out, routes it through like a number from New York. And then also I bought the landline ISDN. So it offers a bridge. Now you can do this in Source Connect, but basically it offers a bridge to where you can use your ipDTL and bridge to a ISDN line from a studio, so that you don't have to have an ISDN. You can use ipDTL. Anyways, plus it's super easy because there's actually links that they click on, like the person, like the studio you're working with, and they literally can go through a link that you send them to sign up, and they can choose how they want to be heard. And by the way, if you don't know what these things are, they are just ways to connect to studios and businesses in a way in which it actually sounds like you are in their studio. Then they have the option to record themselves. They can actually record you. Many people do this. I was watching a video of a guy who literally does the morning show every single like day or whatever, and or like every week or something, every day, every week. And they literally, he uses IP diddle. I call it diddle because it's easier than saying ipDTL every time. But anyways, he uses that, and they literally just, call into him, and he records it over the line, and they have it set, and he listens to them in their ear. So it's really cool, really cool. But anyways, I wanted to up my game, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, I'm trying to break down Voice 123, make it my new platform, you know what. And I wanted to offer everything that's available in that platform. And as I started looking at especially the top tier people there, what I noticed is all of them have like all of it. They've got Source Connect, they've got ISDN, they've got ipDTL, they've got phone patching. And I had literally like none of it. And, and I often wonder too, when I'm auditioning for these companies, if I do not have these things and these companies want to connect with me that way, I mean, I could not be getting business because of that. Now the downside to all of this is that it is a monthly cost. So after I've tallied everything up, it's going to cost me about an extra $200 a month. So that sucks. So that's $2,400 a year. And it is yet to be seen if I'm going, when I'm going to make that money back or whatever. I would like to think that, being that connected, it will allow me to work with companies on a grander scale, maybe that are charging, that are in studios. For example, like I was auditioning on Voice Realm yesterday for a business or a company that was doing, I don't know, quite a few 15 to 30 second slots. And they were in a studio and they're offering like $2,500. It's like, but they're like, we have to be connected. We want remote direction. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I can offer Skype, but they don't want to use Skype. That doesn't really work. And then of course you can't record over Skype. I mean, they can't record me over Skype in their studio. So, I realize that I'm turning my wheels here and I'm doing all this stuff, but am I actually making headway the way I should be because I'm not connected properly? All right. Yeah. So, cost wise, I know some people are talking over here, $200 per month. I always assumed it was around 72. So I can break down the costs for you and why mine's a little bit more. And I'll tell you why I did what I did. So basically Source Connect, I do not use Source Connect now. I've read up on some stuff that people are not using that. I'm using the standard. I didn't go pro. I didn't need that. Everything I've read said standard's enough. That's $35 a month. Okay, so that's $35. Where the rest of the money comes from is my ipDTL account. I wanted to sign up for a LAN ISDN line because I wanted to add that to my bag of tricks. So basically what happens is they have like base packages. Plus I wanted my own phone number. I wanted a bunch of things. So I basically end up spending like $145 to $150 a month through ipDTL in order to use these services. Now, what I think I can do is I can go through and pull that back because I only put in for like 5 hours a month for the ISDN. But that's where the $200 per month comes in because of that cost. So I guess in reality, it's what was more like $180. But that's why. So yes, you could get away with doing $70 to $100 for both of those a month. But that's why I choose. I got like all the bells and whistles on the ipDTL package so that I could offer a variety of things. Now, again, you could phone patch with Google Voice. I mean, Bill DeWeese did a video about that years and years ago, that he used the phone pool, but he also was quick to point out that he has all of those things too. Source Connect, ISDN, and of course now ipDTL, which I really love. And I've seen some good things, but most people have gone now towards Source Connect, but a lot of studios still use ISDN. So again, I connected with those things because I want to be able to get that business that I've not been able to get. And if those studios and those businesses and those media companies want to record that way with you and you don't offer it, you're never going to see that business, nor will you probably get any feedback. I remember early on, it was about a year ago, I was contacted by someone who wanted to work with me, and they asked me if I had Source Connect. I said no. And they're like, "Oh, that's a shame. You should really get it." And that was the last time I heard of them. Also, I've been contacted by studios to put on their roster, but I need Source Connect. And so I've not been on their roster. And because of that, I've not been on their roster. Now, whether I would have gotten business from these people or not, I don't know. But the point is that I kind of got to the point now where I'm like, it's a serious, I want to make sure I'm offering that. Okay. With all that said, and I'm going to wrap this up and then take any questions if you guys have it. With all that being said, it is this point in my business where I feel like I can do that. However, I want to point out that I am running a 6-figure business and I've not added those things until right now. So, do you need that stuff right now? Maybe not. But I do think that as I try to build more of my own business off of platforms, those things become more necessary. Okay. And because then I can hold my own and I can offer things that, again, these websites can't. And that is even more one-on-one work, even the ability to be anywhere. That's another thing. When I travel, I want to be able to continue to work wherever I am. Also, on a side note, I had some selfish reasons for ipDTL because it also has the podcast option. So basically that means that, as you guys know, listen to my podcast, A VO's Journey, right? I love doing interviews when I can. And the interviews are great, but the audio, not so much, right? Because I record through Zoom. So with ipDTL, they can actually go through the phone and I can actually record them and it should sound a whole lot better. They can even use a microphone and I can record them directly into a WAV file and then, put that into my DAW and, should sound a whole lot better. But anyway, so these are all just things that I'm opening my mind up to. All right. So anyways, let's go over here. And if you have any questions, please post it and let me feel free to ask away. All right. So we have hellos. Why do you give these sites your number? They never use landline, it seems. Data. When I interviewed Miles, the CEO from Voquint, I think he pointed out that, the currency these days, it's not, the gold these days is not money, it's data. So you do all this for a variety of reasons. One, you give numbers, although it seems kind of redundant now because anybody can go onto Google Voice and get a number. But, it's also supposed to be an anti, like the more forms of data you collect, in one sense, the less likelihood that it's a spam, or a spammer or whatever. But at the same time, it's also data that they have. And the more data they have, all right, the more damage they can do, meaning like the more they can target you, the more they can get more of us, all that kind of stuff, right? Data is king. Let's see. We talked about the, Yato. A Yato. Hopefully that's right. A Yato. Okay. Let's see. Wow. So they have no other option in their minds. That sucks. BDoggy45. Now that you have gotten to that point to use these connective softwares, how will that change your marketing strategy? Okay, good call. So for me now, what I am doing is I'm going through and now and adding that first off to all my sites. I've considered actually, which would be interesting to see what Fiverr does if I added it to Fiverr, so you can connect with me in all these ways. I don't know how they would feel about that, but see, I do live direction and they allow me to do that. So, I think it's one of those things where, maybe if I offered it as an extra, you know what I mean? That would be kind of cool. I might do that because it's the same thing as live direction or whatever. They just can do it through there. I think that would be something that I don't see anyone doing, which is really nice, that I could do. But for me, on my website, also when I contact people, all of that makes a difference because now I feel, by the way, this was an interesting thing. As soon as I filled all that stuff out and changed those things on my Voice 123, I got a whole slew of new opportunities because people are filling out things that, they want those options that I never had before. So I was getting more auditions. So that's something interesting to note. But I think that's how it's going to change my marketing. It will allow me to actually publicize that I am connected that way. And I'm going to start targeting studios. I'm going to start targeting places that originally I like. So when I was first sending out things to get on rosters and stuff, I came across a lot of independent studios, and those studios have rosters. But unless you are in a certain distance of them, then you can't, they require you to have Source Connect. So I didn't have that. So because I didn't have that, I couldn't be on their rosters, right? And that's happened a couple places. And if you think about that, you could target studios across the entire country or world. And if they require you to be on Source Connect or something like that, if you have it, then you could, be represented all over the place. Again, though, you'd have to check that representation and exclusivity and all those kinds of things of what that means. But in generally speaking, I mean, that's another way that you can do it. So that's how I will use it, as a way to also as a promotion thing. It's a new part of the business that I offer, a new service. Yeah, good question. Okay. Paul says, where do you recommend to go to sign up for Source Connect? And I may have missed this, but ipDTL, Anthony, Googling, but confused. Thanks. Yeah. So Source Connect, you go to, it's called, if you go to just type in Source Connect, it's called sourceelements.com. That's cool. Sourceelements.com. I guess I could put the links below. I don't see why not. Source-elements is for Source Connect. And what you do when you get there is right when you get on there, it'll say Source Connect. You want to, I downloaded the 15-day full feature trial. Okay. And you can also look at versions and pricing, but I would stick with the standard. That's all my research is done. Now, in the other thing, which is ipDTL, if you type that in, it's actually just https semicolon / ipDTL.com. And if you go on there, it pretty much runs you through everything. Well, now that I have my own, it just logs me right in. And I'll do a tour. I'll do a tour of all this, but I wanted to just show you. Oh, that's funny. It's actually picking me up. I need to log out of that. I was crazy. I logged in through ipDTL and it was picking me up and going through my my speakers. Anyways, so yeah, so that's what that is. Okay. I couldn't get on Fiverr for a year because they didn't accept my number. Data really is king. That's true. Fiverr's relentless about the telephone number. If you don't have an accurate number and you can't verify it, no way. Yeah, I think they sell it and profit from companies like Google. It's possible, but I also think they use it like Facebook. Do you know what I mean? And they use it for I don't necessarily think they sell it, although by using it in YouTube, Google, and Facebook, they are basically giving it to, but they use it as ways to find, more people to target, to find more of us to target with all of the data we have to give them. They can take all of those profiles, all of that information and target us. That's why they're so, they're such big machines, because they can take all that information and just plug it in to Google, YouTube, and Facebook and go to town and get every little piece of information. That's where we struggle, because it's hard to keep up with people like that. What we can do is reverse engineer it, but that's going down a whole nother video or a whole nother slew of videos. All right. Well, this has been a good bunch. Okay. One more question from Paul. One more, sir. After you have watched the first free Fiverr Learn course, What do you recommend next for a VO? Actually, I took a course just the other day. I've taken like 13 now. So that goes to show you how much buy-in I have. And, I do what I say I'm going to do. I just did one 2-3 days ago because I try to do 1 or 2 a month. I do 1 or 2 a month. And my suggestion is I first targeted all the digital marketing stuff. So I thought that was brilliant, right? I mean, it's very helpful, the digital marketing stuff, but I also tried to take ones that were not as super expensive. Do you know what I mean? There's a bunch of different ones on there, but I would target the digital marketing stuff. But by the way, this is important because there are some other options on there. Like there is one of the VoiceOver pros on Fiverr offers a VoiceOver one. But I just want to point out that the Learn courses are not about you succeeding in those areas on Fiverr. They're just about you learning about those areas. Does that make sense? So that means that like if you take that VoiceOver course, and I haven't taken it yet. I mean, it's almost $100. I haven't taken it yet. But from people who have told me more about, it's like for new beginners and it's about just freelancing and VoiceOver period. It's not like how to succeed in VoiceOver on Fiverr. You know what I mean? And by the way, he's a pro too, which nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong when you can actually find his profile and stuff. But that's just kind of something that is to think about in the back of your mind. So anyways, I would recommend the digital marketing and try to find ones that aren't super expensive, like under $30. Yeah. Joe, thanks. Hey guys, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for standing by. If you just came in, this was a good video. And thank goodness it's on the right channel, because if you just popped in, I made a whole nother live video on my other YouTube channel. Only like one person showed up. It was Sabah. And I was like, well, thank you, Sabah, but nobody wants to watch today. And then I realized I had it on the wrong channel. So dummy status, but I figured it out. Thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful Wednesday. Oh, like, subscribe, leave some cool comments below. All right. And please tick the notification button. And by the way, if you want to check out the podcast, it's a VO's journey, some good stuff on there. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.